Right, so you're wide awake at 4 a.m. in the morning again. Let's see if we can fix that for you. The reasons why our body gets disrupted during perimenopause, it's to do with the decline in estrogen and progesterone that disrupts our sleep cycles. It's also to do with higher levels of cortisol due to the decline in our estrogen. Also, constant toilet breaks disrupt our sleep. And finally, our blood sugar levels. Now, because I'm not a medical professional, it's very difficult for me to explain blood sugar and how it affects and how it's impacted during perimenopause. So I've summarized a clip from the Mayo Clinic, which is something that I've looked at during my research. And I'm going to pop it on the screen either here or here to explain the effect of blood sugar levels and how it impacts our sleep cycles. Now, personally for me, during the beginning of my journey, I had high cholesterol. So I had bloods done and the doctor advised me your cholesterol's high, and they give you this little sheet of foods that you should introduce into your diet or is good to help you bring down your cholesterol. And then obviously all the good things that I love to eat, chocolate, cakes, biscuits, that sort of thing, you know, you have to reduce or try and cut them out. But obviously there has to be a balance, doesn't there? So initially I found that quite difficult. So I personally am on HRT, hormone replacement therapy. So pre-HRT, my cholesterol was high, I think on 2 separate occasions. So within a period of 12 months, I'd had 2 lots of blood tests. Very recently had some more bloods taken, and my cholesterol is absolutely fine now. And I do believe that it's possibly one to do with me trying very hard to cut out the bad foods and introduce more good foods, but also the HRT, the hormone replacement therapy. Obviously, I am not recommending that to anyone. That's something that you need to discuss with your doctor. It's just my personal journey and what I decided to do to try and get me on an even keel with how I was feeling and how I was coping. Now, some tips that I have for better sleep. The first one is the first one that I implemented, which is absolutely cutting out the caffeine. I used to have a cup of coffee before I went to bed. I don't do that now, so I try not to have coffee after 2 p.m. as much as I can. And then I also, if I drink tea, I have decaf tea, and try and avoid any kind of caffeine before bed, fizzy drinks as well, just water. Other ideas for creating, they call it sleep hygiene in a lot of things that you can research online, is having a good sleep hygiene, but it's basically a good sleep routine. Try and keep your room cool, turn your screens off before, at least an hour before you go to bed. That includes no work. Read a book, listen to an app, a calm app, try and calm you ready for sleep. Also a dark room, because sometimes on those 2 a.m, 3 a.m, 4 a.m wake ups, if the room was dark, you can usually try and get back to sleep. Now, there are supplements. There are such a large array of supplements available relating to not just perimenopause, but just mood in general, anxiety and depression and things like that. So I mentioned magnesium earlier, but there is also ashwagandha. I personally haven't tried that, but that comes up very regularly on anything self-help to do with mood and sleep. CBD, that helps aiding with pain, sleep, anxiety. Another great tip, which I'm not always the best at doing, but I can always tell when I haven't done it, is going to bed and getting up at the same time every day, including the weekends. Now, I'm not so great at always going to bed, but I certainly try and get up at the same time every day. I have a school run to do, so that's helpful in itself. But then at the weekends, I try and just get up that same time also. So that goes ahead and finishes day 4 of my 30-day series. I hope the sleep tips you find helpful. I do feel personally that sleep is a really easy fix, but because we get in such routines, especially at weekends when we're, relaxed a little bit more, or we haven't got to get up necessarily for anything in the morning, I found more difficult to implement, but it should be one of the easiest if you can be strict with yourself. It's just changing your patterns. So don't eat or have caffeine before you go to bed. Turn off your screens, put your phone down, put it in a drawer, put it out the way, that kind of thing, or just starting a new routine, I have found very impactful when I can implement it consistently. So if you can like and subscribe, pop in the comments if you would like any more sleep support videos. If you would find that useful, then do please let me know, and I will be back again tomorrow, day 5 of our 30-day of perimenopause.